Welcome to Beyond Six Figures, the podcast that helps business coaches to micro-niche, get noticed, and become fully booked. Learn from top industry leaders who've successfully taken their businesses and their lives beyond six figures. Get ready to level up your coaching business and make this world a better place, one business at a time. And now, here's your host, Ziv Raviv.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Six Figures. Our guest today is Scott Aaron, a three-time best-selling author, internationally acclaimed business coach, keynote speaker, and podcaster. Scott specializes in helping entrepreneurs, coaches, and service-based professionals build authentic human connection and personal brands on LinkedIn. With over 2 decades of experience and a proven system that helped thousands generate consistent leads and scale organically, Scott is known for his resilient comeback story, having rebuilt from $1.5 million in liability debt and bankruptcy to selling his first business for $1 million and becoming a leader in LinkedIn-driven business growth. I'm so excited to share this moment with you, Scott. Hello, how are you?
Ziv, I'm doing great and just honored and grateful to be here.
Let's start with your journey. You've been helping people grow on LinkedIn for 20 years now. I want to know, how did you get to that? That's what you do.
Well, it's actually been more close to 14 years. So I had different iterations in business. I actually started in the health and wellness industry when I was around 19, had 3 family-owned businesses. That's where my coaching actually began, just about 27 years ago. And when things kind of fell to the wayside with the fitness industry, I kind of saw the writing on the wall. After becoming a father in 2012, I then started to think about how can I best set myself up for success in the future? Because someone asked me a question. They said, if you got sick or injured, where you physically couldn't train people anymore, you couldn't get to the gym, how would you earn a living? I was trading time for dollars. So if I wasn't training someone, I wasn't making a living. So that's when I thought about the demographic of the people that I was working with in person were all business professionals. They were just too busy. They needed some sort of commitment and a reason to show up at the gym, and I was that reason and I was that commitment. So I said to myself, if these people would be willing to drive to see me on their way to work, on their lunch break, or on their way home, there's got to be the same type of person all around the country, but online. So what if I can take my skill set and my services of helping people with nutritional programs and workout routines and do that in the online space? And then I started to think to myself, where am I going to have the greatest opportunity to form connections with people organically that fit my core demographic, which are business professionals that have the monetary means to work with me? And it wasn't Facebook, it wasn't Instagram, it was LinkedIn. That platform was full of business professionals. So in 2013, I jumped on the platform. I had opened an account originally in 2009, but it was more for my in-person personal training and my gyms at the time. But now I was being very clear and very specific and actionable about the purpose why I was on LinkedIn. And I changed my profile around. It said, online wellness coach, online nutrition coach. It was all online. So letting the people that I was connecting with know on the platform that I could work with them virtually. And I started connecting with people. I started messaging people organically. I started booking get to know you conversation calls and Zooms. And within 6 months, the revenue that I was making in the online realm of my business was actually equal to what I was doing in person that took me 15 years to build. So I started to think to myself, 6 months, 15 years, what makes the most sense? So at that point, I knew that I had something that could help not only myself, but other sales professionals. And this is where the other aha moment came up for me, is I realized, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, I have a service to offer, But there are other service professionals that have something to offer to business professionals on LinkedIn, other business coaches, business consultants, insurance professionals, right? And I started reaching out to some of the people that I knew that were in that realm. And I said to some of my friends, like, you should be on this platform. This could really change your business. This could have the law of numbers in your favor. So I taught a few of my friends what I was doing. One in particular reached back out to me about 2 weeks later, and he said, listen, he goes, I don't know what you figured out with this platform, but I have 14 sales calls booked this upcoming week. And he goes, you should be teaching this to people. And I said, what do you mean teach this to people? He said, you should be showing other people that are in coaching and consulting how they can leverage LinkedIn the way that you showed me. It still wasn't connecting for me until he said this one thing. He said, listen, you've spent the last 15 years helping, coaching, and teaching people how to build and maintain a healthy body. Now you have the opportunity to help people build and maintain a healthy business. And that's when everything kind of connected. So at that point, I went all in with my strategy. I got a patent on the flow that I teach that is applicable to the platform of LinkedIn. I went on a podcast, and it was with my business coach at the time, and he interviewed me. And after I got off that call, I went on to Facebook, where I was connected to a lot of my friends. And I had 8 people that inboxed me asking me, could you help me with my business on LinkedIn? And I had a business overnight, literally, and I haven't stopped since. And that's what's led to the books and the speaking and everything else that I'm doing now almost 13 years later.
So this is such an amazing story, how you transitioned from fitness coaching and in-person coaching, and so great success in moving into online. And then suddenly, through coincidence, really, of seeing that it helps some of your friends, be encouraged to actually talk about it on a podcast, talk about it on your Facebook, and overnight, presumably, it's not really overnight. You did the homework, you did your work to get to that point, but it worked for you, and it started to work for others. I think it's really important. A lot of times when we hear about an idea, a tool, a system, to paint the picture of some of the success stories, some of the opportunities here, so that people understand that this is not theoretical, this is real. So if you don't mind, share with me a few success stories that are recent, that are proud of your students that are getting results with LinkedIn.
Well, I hope we have enough time because there's a lot. So I have over 530 written recommendations on my LinkedIn profile, which I still haven't found anybody that has as many as I do. And that's not to credit myself, it's to credit the people that actually take the action of what I teach them. So I'll give you a couple recent success stories from all different walks of life. Recently, I have a client that I've been working with. He's the chief people officer. So he's an independent consultant for large-scale companies that goes in and obviously works with contingency of the employees to create better connection and mindfulness and everything else that he brings into it. And he followed my strategy of how I leverage LinkedIn polls for market research to have a reason to reach out to people. And that led to a $15,000 client acquisition. Another one, I have a coach / consultant that works with nursing entrepreneurs. So she is a nurse or ex-nurse herself, but she now coaches and teaches other entrepreneurial-minded nurses how they can actually grow a business of their own, whether it's certain coaching and consulting. Long story short, she adapted and followed my strategy of creating a LinkedIn newsletter that builds a subscriber base within the LinkedIn platform that also gives you a reason to reach out to people, but also gives you more visibility because LinkedIn pushes it out so much to your network. She actually had someone reach out to her, and it actually led to a 20,000 plus 2-month client contract from that newsletter edition. Another one more recently was, interestingly enough, it's a client of mine that works in the spray foam insulation industry. He built a business from the ground up and he now franchises it. So he's looking to expand and get other franchises all around the country. But he's still looking to grow his flagship business. And this is also the power of LinkedIn, is LinkedIn you can build locally. You do not have to grow a connection base nationally. Because he said to me, listen, I'm in the Alabama area. I can only work with people in this specific region. Can LinkedIn work for me? And I said, absolutely. Long story short, after about 4 weeks of working together, he ended up making a connection, following my searching and connecting strategy, and then messaging that person that led to a phone conversation. It led to an in-person consultation at this gentleman's property, and that led to a $50,000 sale. But that $50,000 sale actually turned into $100,000 because he actually referred someone to him on the spot. So the interesting thing is that depending upon where you are and what kind of business you have, LinkedIn can work for you if it's done the right way. And another example is a client of mine that I've been working with off and on for the last 3.5 years. Much like the client that I just described, he actually owns his own bricklaying and masonry company that specifically rehabs commercial and large real estate properties. So he reached out to me wanting to learn how to use LinkedIn to connect with other commercial and real estate brokers and property owners where he can bid on jobs. And he's only in the greater Detroit area. So he said, listen, I can't go outside of the greater Detroit area. That's where I'm licensed. That's where I have to do my business. In 1.5 years of applying my strategy, he actually brought in an extra $1.5 million of contracts into his business, one being the largest in his company's history from LinkedIn, which was over $300,000. So whether you are just an independent coach or consultant, or you have a small, medium-sized business, the strategies that I teach can help any and all people if you apply it, if you take the time to learn it, but more importantly, if you give LinkedIn the time, energy, and effort that it needs. It is not a quick fix, right? It is not a quick hit. It's a slow burn. It takes time. But if you allow the process and actually go through all the necessary steps, you will reap the rewards.
So let's talk about a few of the objections that people sometimes have before they jump in and decide to try and implement and basically go all in with LinkedIn. One of the objections, I'm going to throw a few of them at you because you already have been tackling them daily. So one of the objections is that people on LinkedIn actually, they don't look at it every single day, multiple times a day. Many people will only check their LinkedIn like twice a week. So how do you overcome that?
Well, more people now than ever are actually becoming more active on LinkedIn. So there's 1 billion users now and a little bit more. Now, here's the thing. 88% of the LinkedIn population are people that are in a decision-making role. 12% are the service providers, the coaches, the consultants, the service providers that are bringing that service to those decision makers. So the decision makers are the ones that are active because they're looking for exchanges of money, contracts, consulting and coaching agreements. But it's really the job of the coach or consultant or the creator to make sure that they show up every single day to make sure they're most visible, because you have the greatest opportunity right now. The interesting thing is, with that statistic, only 1% of the LinkedIn population, from a provider standpoint, that 12%, only 1% of the LinkedIn population publishes one post or more per week. So the strategy that I have is at a baseline, a 3 posts per week strategy. So it's going to give you 3 times more visibility. And that's what's going to allow you to convert your content into actual clients. This has been proven time and time again. We've helped people generate millions and millions of dollars worth of business if they stay in the trenches long enough and give it time. But I can promise you this, the results that people are getting on LinkedIn far exceed, and there's no comparison of what they're receiving on LinkedIn compared to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. If you are a coach and consultant that works with business professionals, if you work with a business professional and you are a coach and consultant, you have to go all in on LinkedIn right now.
What's your point of view, and does your system include this? where there's this strategy where people would use private messages on LinkedIn. Is that a big part of your system, or is that not really a part of it?
Yeah, there's actually 4 parts to my system. One is SEO optimizing your LinkedIn profile because it is a search engine. So you want to make sure that it's optimized with the right keywords. So just like wanting to appear in the first search result page on Google, you want to mimic that on the first result page via search on LinkedIn and vice versa. The second is building the right type of network of connections, and you want 2 types. 1, potential ideal clients. 2, power partners or business allies, people that you can collaborate with, like yourself and myself, other coaches where you can provide value to their communities. Third component is messaging. And I actually have a 5-prong DM strategy. So there's multiple ways to reach out to people. The most common way that people think is just connecting with someone and then messaging them. Yes, that's a part of my strategy, but it's only one of 5 parts because you can leverage your content to reach out to people, whether it's poll questions, whether it's newsletter subscribers, whether it's the push notification messages, whether it's general content that you've posted, video content that you've posted, LinkedIn live videos that you've done, LinkedIn live events. There's multiple ways. So that's why people are properly armed with creating the results that they want, because it's not just a one-track strategy on LinkedIn. You have to deploy multiple strategies to have the law of numbers and the quality numbers in your favor. And the fourth and final strategy is your content and your marketing plan. So making sure that you're creating content that positions you as that know, like, and trust authority, that positions you as the expert in your space, the go-to resource. You can't just spray and pray. You just can't connect and message. You got to give people a reason to want to follow your account, a reason to respond back to your message. And that's what your content should do.
How many hours a week do you need to put into this so that the system will work?
I usually tell people if you can block off 30 minutes a day, which breaks down to about 2.5 hours a week, you're good as gold. Now, can you spend more time than that? Absolutely, just as long as you're not scrolling and trolling, if it's actually producing a result, but that's fine. But at a baseline, I always recommend my clients block off 30 minutes. I don't care if it's in the morning, afternoon, or the evening. Go on there, follow the LinkedIn checklist that I give you. The only extra time that you have to spend is responding back to people's comments if they comment on your content, or responding back to people's messages when they respond that they would like to talk. But baseline, about 20 to 30 minutes per day.
Would you say this is delegatable?
So there's certain aspects that you can delegate, but LinkedIn has strict privacy and user agreement settings that you can't use any automated software that connects and messages for you. You can't have any unapproved third-party tools that scrape data, and you cannot have people log into your account to act as you and pretend that they are you. Even if they're using a similar IP address, LinkedIn will track this. So people are getting their accounts deleted and blocked more now than ever, because LinkedIn's security team has really buffed up the process of making sure that people are using this platform genuinely and authentically. So the only thing that I tell people that they can really delegate is if you're looking for someone to help you create your content, or using a content scheduler like one of the ones that we have, BYOB Social, or a Buffer or Hootsuite, where you're having your content posted to the platform, that's fine. But LinkedIn has its own built-in scheduler now, so it kind of defeats the purpose. I always tell people, if you can't block off 30 minutes a day to grow your business, LinkedIn may not be the platform for you.
What do you think about LinkedIn advertisement as a way to shorten the process?
So with LinkedIn advertising, there's 2 components. So you have LinkedIn advertising from company pages, which is typically only recommended for large-scale companies that have revenue being generated upwards of 2 to 10 million per year upwards, that are also looking for 6-figure type contracts. The individual coach and consultant, I never recommend doing those kind of campaigns, but LinkedIn does have a beta feature right now where content creators on the platform can boost text posts, image text posts, and newsletters, and videos uploaded directly from your computer to LinkedIn, not a stream, you actually can boost them like you would a YouTube video or a Facebook post to get more impressions or more engagement, to grow a following or to get more visibility. So I've done a couple split tests with those, and I've seen two positive side effects of that. So you can only do a minimum. The least you can do is $20 over 2 days. That's the bare minimum. I did $10 a day for 7 days. So I spent $70 on a static image text post and $70 on a newsletter edition. And I saw growth in the areas that I wanted them to be, which was my follower count grew organically on LinkedIn because they were showing, and I did it for impressions, which means impressions are how many times someone on LinkedIn sees your content. So I wanted to make sure that LinkedIn was pushing my content out so it could be shown to more people, because I knew if they were seeing it, they would click on my profile, read through what I do, and they'll want to follow me. The second reason why I ended up choosing a newsletter edition is because I currently have almost 11,000 subscribers, and subscribers to me are everything on LinkedIn because it gives me a reason to A, to reach out to them, but B, LinkedIn helps you grow your newsletter by pushing it out in multiple fashions, like emailing people on your behalf, giving them a push notification. And for me, you can put a clickable call to action link in every single newsletter edition, which helps you grow your email list. Everything that I teach people is turning your LinkedIn strategy into one giant lead magnet that grows your business offline. As a whole, LinkedIn is a social media platform just like any other, and social media is rented land. So a lot of my strategy is deploying it so you can grow not so much your business online, but helping to direct traffic offline, where you're growing your email list, you're getting people into an inbox or into an email sequence. So you're growing your business that way.
I want to talk about AI. AI allows it kind of democratizes content creation. It becomes very, very easy for everyone to just write an article. But it also is a risk for the consultant and coaching industry, because you get you get flooded by AI coaches that all of the content feels a little bit off, a little bit unauthentic. There's something about it that when you read it, there's nothing wrong with it. And maybe that's a part of the problem. It doesn't just feel human and based on experience. How do you overcome that? Like, how do you make sure that people will actually see your content in this huge ocean of AI generated content?
So I would say two things. Number one, you're never writing the content for yourself. You're writing it for the person that you want to attract into your business. So whenever I'm creating content on LinkedIn, I'm always doing it in the sole purpose of how can this leave someone that wants to be in my position better? So giving tangible tips and takeaways and full of value. But I would say the second thing that you want to make sure that your content does, it builds the know, like, and trust through storytelling and through relatability. Too many people put themselves on a pedestal, like they know everything. You need to kind of take yourself down to eye level with people that want to read your content and make yourself relatable. Share your takeaways, share your wins, share your losses, share your troubles, because you know what? It humanizes yourself to that person. So all the things that I just mentioned, that's what led my wife and I to actually create our own private community called the Expert Content Society. So basically, we build out custom GPT prompts for coaches, consultants, and service professionals to use to help them create their content. And if people aren't familiar with what a prompt is, it's basically a customizable prompt that asks you a series of questions about you, your business, and what you want the reader to gain from reading this piece of content. And after giving it enough information that you're giving it, it takes all of your words and your information and then reframes it and reconstructs it into a thought-provoking storytelling post for LinkedIn. So you can do this for image text posts, poll questions, newsletters, video, quote tiles, and even carousel posts. We have close to 300 people now in the community. People are seeing literally on a weekly basis an increase in their impressions, an increase in their reactions, an increase in comments. And the reason why is that all of these prompts that my wife builds out from scratch are catered and geared towards engaging the audience, highlighting the audience as the star of the show, not the creator themselves. Because again, you're looking to build a know, like, and trust. You're looking to bring people closer to you instead of pushing them further away. And you do that best by storytelling, thought leadership, and making yourself as relatable as possible to the person who's reading your content.
I love it. By using this prompt, people actually get questions that helps them give the information. They don't need to think so much. They just answer the questions, and then they get something that is more authentic, that is more related to their experience.
Exactly. They get 24 of those every month. So every month, our members get 6 posts per week that they can use. So now they don't have to ever worry about, what am I posting today? We give you 4 weeks worth of content every single month. So as the months roll on, you can go back to previous months. And now, as if there's 10 months that have gone by, there's 240 prompts in there. So the thought of like, well, I don't know what to post today or this week. Well, those days are gone because we've taken the legwork out of it and we've created it for people where all they have to do is go in there. They click on the link that accesses the prompt. It hyperlinks back to that person's personal chat GPT. And the prompt says, let's get started. You click the button, it starts asking you questions, and you have to think of what we have created as a personal copywriter and marketing agency for pennies on the dollar. We charge $79 a month. So think about how much money you're saving, because now for $79 a month, you have a marketing firm and a copywriter literally in your back pocket at all times to help you position yourself as the expert in the space that you're in through your content.
Where can people go to join the community and to learn more about what you do?
So number one, thank you, Ziv. I appreciate the opportunity. Easiest place to find me is, strangely enough, LinkedIn. You could just search Scott Aaron Coach on LinkedIn and I'll come up there. As far as the community, if you go to thetimetogrowd.com and you'll see the Expert Content Society on there. We do have a wait list up right now. We only open it twice a year. We will be opening it back up at the end of the fall. So in a couple months, we're going to be reopening the doors. In the interim, you can get on the wait list. You can get on our weekly newsletter. And when the doors do open, you will be the first to know, so you can jump on in, and we would love to have you a part of the community.
This has been amazing, Scott. I highly recommend people, all of you listening right now, need to be on LinkedIn. It's the right platform for what you do. It's the right thing to do when SEO is dying. And in a world filled with noise, you need to have a system that helps you. You need to have a team, a team, even metaphorically, a group of people like Scott Aaron on your corner, helping you out, and his wife, of course, helping you out with day-to-day work and promotions. Scott Aaron, thank you for taking the time to sharing some of your ideas with us. And thank you, everyone, for listening for another episode of Beyond Six Figures.
Thanks for listening to Beyond Six Figures. Check out the extended show notes that include bonus material, practical tips, and exclusive resources on our website, zivraviv.com. Until next time, keep dreaming big and pushing your business and your life beyond six figures.